JEE Advanced 2022. This paper definitely had a bunch of really challenging questions that were tough to crack, but the brighter side of the story is that in the same paper, there were a good number of questions that were yes conceptual, but on a lighter note. So they were comparatively easier to crack, and these were the questions that you had to pick and choose to maximize your score. Like this one here, which you can see is from the very recently conducted JEE Advanced 2022 exam. It's a wonderful question, a must-do question. It's based upon a beautiful and a conceptual idea of continuity as well as the LH rule. Let's quickly see how to attempt it, how are you supposed to attack it. Here, f is given to be the sine function, which we all are aware is definitely continuous. And what are we supposed to find out? Limit x tends to alpha from the positive f of g of x. Now the first thing which would immediately strike your head is, can I interchange the positions of f and limit? Is that allowed? Am I permitted to do so? Oh yes, because f is a continuous function. We have learned about this result that whenever f is a continuous function, f of limit is limit of f. So using this idea, I am going to rewrite limit of f of g to be f of limit of g. Now I'll just substitute in place of g its very definition, which is already given to me in the question. And here I will realize that as x approaches to alpha from the positive, root x will approach to root alpha. That means this input of log in the numerator will approach to 0. So log of this input will approach to minus infinity. Exactly in the same manner, if you look at the denominator, what's happening? As x is approaching to alpha from the positive, root x is approaching to root alpha. So e to the power root x will approach to e to the power root alpha. So the input again will approach to 0. So the denominator completely will approach to again minus infinity. That means your complete expression is delivering what as the limit? The limit is of the form minus infinity by minus infinity, which is as good as infinity by infinity. And this is going to shout out for the application of LH rule. Correct? Our favorite, your favorite, my favorite. So let's get started. I will quickly differentiate the numerator as well as the denominator. So what do I have? F, this 2 I'm going to just plug out because it is a scalar. Limit x tends to alpha from the positive. Now differentiate the numerator. You get 1 upon root x minus root alpha into 1 by 2 root x. Whole upon differentiate the denominator, you will get 1 upon e to the power root x minus e to the power root alpha, and then you have e to the power root x into 1 by 2 root x. Correct? So this gets cancelled out straight away. You can see as x approaches to alpha, e to the power root x will approach to e to the power root alpha. Now if I simplify this entire expression, what will I get? I will get f of twice of limit x tends to alpha from the positive, and I will have e to the power root x minus e to the power root alpha whole upon e to the power root alpha multiplied with root x minus root alpha. Correct? I can take out e to the power root alpha common from the numerator as well. It will get cancelled out from the e to the power root alpha from the denominator, and eventually I'll be left with what? F of twice of limit x tends to alpha from the positive e to the power root x minus root alpha minus 1 upon root x minus root alpha. Correct? And now all I need is eagle vulture eyes from your end, that is laser beam focus. Basically here, if you carefully observe, once e to the power root alpha cancels out, root x minus root alpha is a quantity which is tending to 0. Are you able to see that? If x is approaching to alpha from the positive, root x will approach to root alpha, and hence root x minus root alpha will approach to 0. So what is this format? Isn't this the standard format? E to the power x minus 1 upon x as x approaches 0 is 1. right? So this entire expression is going to have its limit as 1 and you have an additional 2 outside. So the limit is coming out to be 2. That means your answer is f of 2, guys. What is f of 2? Use the definition of f. Sine of pi into 2 by 12. This will give you sine pi by 6. That is sine 30 degrees, which is 1 by 2. Correct? So this is exactly your answer, that is 0.5. And bingo, you are done. So these are the questions that you have to pick and choose. You have to invest your time in because they are really scoring and they will not at all disappoint you.